Good morning, Columbia. Today is Thursday, October 8th. A race against time. We're taking you live to the Columbia Canal where crews work to save the city's water supply. Plus, breathing a sigh of relief, what officials are saying about the Beaver Dam as they monitor more breached canals, dams, and rivers near the flood stage. And picking up the pieces, we're taking a look at what's left behind the following of this historic flood and where you can go for help. Good Morning Columbia starts right now.
From ABC Columbia News, live from Main and Gervais, this is Good Morning Columbia.
Good morning, Columbia. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Christy Vaughn.
And I'm Rochelle Dean. We are live from Main and Gervais, and your time right now is 5 a.m.
Well, the silver lining after the storm just keeps shining through. It looks like we are in store for another day of sunshine, which is great for all those folks who are in recovery and assessment mode. The light of the day sure helps a bit.
That's right. 2 days now. We're hoping for a third.
Yeah.
We're going to turn things over to meteorologist Jonathan Kennedy to find out exactly what we can expect for the remainder of the day. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
And good morning, Christy. Good morning, Rochelle. As you're waking up this morning, we're seeing mostly clear skies for us. It is a little bit warmer right now, 59 degrees downtown. Clear skies, winds are calm, and a good setup to see a beautiful start to the day. Not really seeing a lot of cloud cover, which is obviously good news, and that bodes well for a very sunny day later today. Saw a lot of sunshine, highs of 82 yesterday, and I think we're going to be looking at a very similar forecast today, probably just a smidge warmer. Satellite and radar nice and quiet for us, and we're looking at clear skies. Don't mind that little blip on the radar. That's just the radar picking up on some other debris. Now, temperatures around the Midlands, mid-50s to upper 50s. Greenville at 61. We were just in the 60s a few moments ago here in downtown, but we have since cooled down into the upper 50s, and I think we'll probably not have much wiggle room to cool down much more. Our dew points are in the mid to upper 50s, so not a lot of room, but most of us seeing around 5 degrees warmer today. We saw a low of 52 yesterday, and right now we're at around 59. I think we'll probably maybe bottom out around 58. So a little bit warmer for you this morning, but still in the 50s, generally in the ballpark of where we should be this time of year. We should be seeing lows in the mid 50s, highs in the upper 70s. We'll probably be trending a little bit warmer on the high side of things as we head to later this afternoon. Satellite and radar nice and quiet for us. A few clouds back to the west, but nothing to bother us really today. We'll probably see a few clouds at times as we're going to see a warm day, but it's not going to be overly humid. So that's good news there. And it looks to be a beautiful day across the area. Even moving back to the west further, not really anything of rain until you get back to the Rocky Mountains. So a lot of dry air coming our way. We're likely to see not this, but see a lot of sunshine. Temperatures staying in the 80s for now. Likely to see a big cool down coming our way though, but also chance of rain for us still on Saturday with that cold front swinging through.
All right. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for keeping us up to date. And we are following breaking news this morning. As Jonathan said, the sun may be shining today, but the threat from this weekend's downpours are not behind us.
Not yet. At the Columbia Canal this morning, it's a race against time to keep the city supplied with water. Our Jennifer Reddy is there, and she's live with the latest. Good morning, Jennifer.
Christy and Rochelle, it does appear that crews are back out here working at the Columbia Canal after a little bit of a setback yesterday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon, crews actually had to stop working for a few hours after an additional collapse in the original breach. You can see the power lines did shift a little bit to the right, and that was a major concern for crews as they looked how they were going to move forward and where they were going to go next as they looked to close this breach. Now, that original breach happened on Monday morning, and since Tuesday, crews have been out here trying to close that breach as quickly as they can. Now, yesterday, Mayor Steve Benjamin, after that additional collapse, says that they are doing everything that they can to make sure that the city does not run out of water. Some of those plans moving forward include if the National Guard needs to come in and pump water from Broad River. Now, in addition, the city is asking people to conserve water where they can, and also there is that reminder out there to continue boiling your water if you can. They did lift the boil water advisory in the area of Chapin, but still anybody else who's not in the Chapin area needs to remember to boil their water. We will have more coming up on the process that they are going through here to try and close that breach coming up in the next half hour. Jennifer Reddy, back to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for keeping us up to date there. she's right, a race against the clock.
It really is. And
Yeah.
they have been really monitoring that area, like she said, since Monday.
Yeah.
And just been a continuous, work out there. So, the effort out there continues.
Oh, kudos to them. And as Jennifer mentioned, it is an effort out there to overcome the setbacks that happened after Sunday's flooding. Crews have been hard at work for days using military helicopters. You might have heard those overhead. Those military helicopters are picking up and dropping 750 one-ton sandbags into the canal in hopes to repair that breach. Officials say it is a team effort in this time of crisis.
Oh, it's pretty amazing. It's an incredible effort between the City of Columbia, private contractors, the National Guard, it's in the Public Works Department. So it's an incredible collaborative effort trying to get the water system back up.
And they are doing anything they can right now, calling this a temporary fix until they can find a permanent solution. And we do want to remind you again, if you're just waking up this morning here in Columbia, people are being asked to conserve their water to reduce the strain on the system. And speaking of water consumption, the City of Columbia has lifted the boil water advisory for residents in some areas, very, very limited areas.
That's right. And those areas include Valentine, Dutch Fork, as well as Chapin. Those areas no longer under a boil water advisory. All other City of Columbia customers should still boil their water. Now, we also want to mention the City of Casey is not under a citywide boil water advisory. Only the homes and businesses around the Three Fountains area, that's Old Barnwell Road and the CAE Industrial Park. Places to keep in mind this morning. And there are still places you can go to get water if you remain in need. The Old Belk parking lot at the Dutch Square Mall, Midland Shopping Center, which is just off of Two Notch, the former Sam's parking lot on Sunset Drive, and the Walmart on Forest Drive. Now, most places will start handing out water at 8:30 this morning. That will last until around 6 o'clock, 6:30 this evening. And residents near the Beaver Dam in Columbia are breathing a sigh of relief this morning. Officials are reassuring the community that the dam there is stable. Crews used over 400 one-ton sandbags to reinforce the dam. Residents in the communities downstream were asked to evacuate yesterday as crews worked to fill a sinkhole and prevent the dam from breaching. It's holding more than 91 million gallons of water, and Richland County officials approved the emergency ordinance to spend up to $1.5 million for emergency recovery efforts. The City of Forest Acres is updating the community on their conditions over there.
Officials say despite some confusion, the 911 system is up and running. They also want to remind residents that many roads there are still closed and many barricades are still in place. Forest Acres officials want you to adhere to those barricades. They actually had to ticket one man who tried to cross over a barricade.
People really need to be aware that, things aren't normal right now, and just pay a little attention to what they're doing. And please watch out for the police, the fire, whoever's on the road working. They're not there trying to hassle people. They just want to make sure you're safe.
And another devastating reminder this morning that you need to heed those warnings from law enforcement and not cross roads or not ride around barricades. We now know the names of two victims inside a truck that was swept away early yesterday morning off Congaree Road. Robert Vance and Ricky McDonald were in the truck when the driver went around a barricade on a closed road, say officials. The truck dropped into the water at a 20-foot gap in the roadway. 3 people in the truck were able to get out safely. The flooding and aftermath have now claimed at least 17 lives here in South Carolina. Just a tragic loss.
It is. It's a sobering reminder of why they have been telling people to heed those warnings out down the road.
And this morning, we do want to remind you that a curfew still is in effect for Richland County until 6 a.m. this morning.
That's right. In addition, city offices will remain closed through tomorrow, and garbage collection will resume today, but they will not collect any recycling bins, rather focusing on trash and storm debris. And some of you may have lost your roll cart during the storm. The city has provided a number to call for a replacement. That number 545-3800, and that number again, 545-3800. And some students are making their way back to the classroom. They may not be happy about it, but they're heading back.
Lexington School District 4, Newberry County Schools, and Saluda County Schools all operating on a 2-hour delay this morning, but they are headed back. Lexington Richland 5 and Lexington District 1 are closed today. Richland District 1, Richland District 2, and Kershaw County, as well as Lexington District 2 and all USC classes, all of those canceled for the week. And we were listening to emergency officials yesterday afternoon in this latest update, and they said another one of the big tasks is now figuring out when these kids go back to school, how do they help supply them with clothing and food and breakfast if they're living in these shelters.
That's right.
Because we've got so many children that are without a home this week.
Yeah. If you're a child that was in one of the houses that has been affected, and there have been so many, then it will be so much, I guess, it would help so much more if other students and other teachers and staff are being able to rally around some of those
so I know our
students to help
school
them out.
districts and our city officials are working hard on that. Well, still to come, the threat from this weekend's historic flooding moving to the coast now.
That's right. What residents there are doing to prepare for a surge of water.
And right now here at home, 58 degrees with clear skies. Expect a lot of sunshine, but more warmth today as well, with highs in the mid-80s. I'll have more details next. Stay with us. We're live from Main and Gervais. The time is now 5:14 on your Thursday morning. Temperatures are a little bit warmer for us this morning, but we're still in the upper 50s as you wake up this morning under clear skies. In fact, more clear skies, maybe a few clouds this afternoon, but mostly sunny for sure as we head throughout your Thursday. Highs of 84 today, so quite warm. Our normal highs are in the upper 70s, so we're going to be at least 5 degrees above normal for most areas. Look for temperatures tonight to be in the same ballpark, around 60 degrees with partly cloudy skies overnight.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, it is a warning for residents that live along the South Carolina coast this morning. The water from days of flooding across the state is moving in their direction. ABC Stephanie Ramos has the latest.
Cleanup and damage control both underway in South Carolina. As residents get ready for another surge of water, roads are caving in. The rush of water even bringing caskets to the surface. And 62 of the dams in the state on the verge of collapse, with the rivers now rising.
This event is not over.
The death toll is growing in the Palmetto State. 19 people now dead since the rain began.
We're holding our breath and we're saying a prayer.
In Columbia, officials evacuated 1,000 people living below the Beaver Dam.
They have gone nonstop to help prevent a major catastrophe over here.
2 people were killed, their truck swept away. It had reportedly driven around a roadblock. The state's governor hoping residents heed the warnings.
This is a situation where if that road is closed, it's closed because we're trying to protect you.
In downtown Columbia, Chinook helicopters dropping 1-ton sandbags in the Columbia Canal, all to hold up this massive breach in a levee near the city's water filtration system. Columbia natives say they've never seen anything like it.
This is probably the worst I've ever seen since I've been living here. It's just something that, you don't really expect to ever happen to you.
So we're just going through it right now, hoping and praying that God watches over us.
At least 13 dams have now failed. Governor Nikki Haley warns communities downstream of Columbia could be next in line to see an overflow of water. Right now, there's a 52-year-old dam holding more than 91 million gallons of water away from communities. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Well, still to come, picking up the pieces. That's the next step. What you need to know when it comes to cleanup following this historic flooding.
And right now, 59 degrees with clear skies downtown. Expect a lot of sunshine, but also more warmth today. Highs back in the mid-80s for us. We'll have more details next. Stay with us. We're live from Main and Gervais.
Welcome back to Good Morning Columbia. Your time right now is 5:19.
Our coverage of this historic flooding continues this morning. The disaster could break the bank of federal emergency funds, possibly topping more than $1 billion. That's a staggering number. Calhoun County, Darlington, Florence, Lee, and Kershaw counties have now all been added to the federal disaster declaration list here in South Carolina.
That's right, and that brings the total to 16 counties. So far, Berkeley, Sumter, and Clarendon counties have all been approved for individual assistance by FEMA. If you want to file for assistance, you can go to disasterassistance.gov or you can call FEMA at 1-800-462-FEMA. And for Midlands residents who are just returning to your homes to assess the damage, there are ways to begin filing insurance claims. Today, the South Carolina Department of Insurance is hosting a catastrophe claim center at the Shops at Woodhill Mall on Garners Ferry Road. That's right over near the Target off of Garners Ferry. Insurance companies like Allstate and FEMA will be part of your choice. The event will begin at 9 o'clock this morning and it will run until 6 this evening. And as residents continue to pick up those pieces following the flooding, experts in flood damage have some advice for those in the home's repair process.
Trinity Episcopal Cathedral held a question and answer session last night to talk to affected homeowners about the process of cleaning up water-damaged homes. Flood recovery expert Walker Williams says homeowners should begin by getting rid of any saturated furniture and then move on to demolition.
Go to the water line of your house, go up 3 feet, that's your demo line. Everything under the demo line, take it out.
After demolition, Williams says the next steps are pressure washing, drying, and sanitizing the home. I can't imagine the staggering amount of work that is ahead for these folks. The good news is, though, as we've been out in the communities, everyone has seen the support, folks coming by. We've seen some students volunteering to help folks bring furniture out. I was out near the Irmo area yesterday. Folks from the Irmo Fire Department were out there. Everybody just helping.
Yeah, and you know, talking to a lot of residents, I spoke with a woman who actually is from Forest Acres a few days ago, and their spirits are so high. And in the midst of everything that they're going through, a lot of people really still are they're saying, you know, we're strong, we're going to get through it, we're going to get through it together. And even though there's been damage, they're looking ahead.
As the governor said, South Carolina is strong, and we've got a lot of prayer going right now.
That's right.
Well, still to come, our coverage of this historic flooding will continue.
That's right. We're going to hear what officials are saying about future evacuation orders.
And right now, upper 50s with clear skies as you wake up with us here. And more sunshine and warmth today. Look for highs in the mid-80s this afternoon. More forecast details next. Stay with us. We're live from Main and Gervais.
Well, welcome back to Good Morning Columbia. We continue our team coverage this morning of the historic flooding here in Columbia. Residents near the Beaver Dam are able to return to their homes this morning after authorities called for a voluntary evacuation yesterday.
That's right. Officials now say that the dam is not an immediate threat, but that wasn't the case yesterday morning. The risk of a dam failure, having local law enforcement go to door, tell homeowners to get to higher ground, that was their reality. Now, Sheriff Leon Lott is speaking out about how evacuation orders will be handled moving forward.
There will not be an evacuation unless Chief Jenkins, myself, or Chief Holbrook as a team, we will decide on evacuation. We had too many people saying evacuate when we really didn't need to evacuate. So we will go to the scene, we will evaluate it on the scene, and we'll make a decision on evacuation.
And of course, authorities continue to closely monitor several more breached canals, dams, and rivers at or near flood stage. And you heard the sheriff just say just now, Sheriff Lott, that there were more people that were evacuated, but it was all done as a precautionary measure. You know, we wanted to err on the side of safety.
An abundance of caution. That's right. And the good news this morning, it looks like the Beaver Dam has stabilized, and hopefully we'll start to see more good news as the week progresses. Right. We can only hope. Well, still to come, a race against time to save the city's water supply.
That's right. We're going to bring you the very latest live from the Columbia Canal. Stay with us. We're live from Main and Gervais.
From ABC Columbia News, live from Main and Gervais, this is Good Morning Columbia.
Good morning, Columbia. Thank you so much for waking up with us on this Thursday morning. I'm Christy Vaughn.
And I'm Rochelle Dean. We are live from Main and Gervais, and your time right now is 5:29.
And the good news is we all wake up again. Today is a new day, and it looks like a new day with a lot of sunshine, and that is probably a welcome sight for all the folks who are trying to get out and assess the damage and start their recovery efforts.
That's right. For more on your forecast and what you can expect if you do have to head to work, or if your little ones have to head to school, if you have to stay at home, what you can expect outside your front door. Here's meteorologist Jonathan Kennedy. Good morning.
And good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Christy. And good morning to all of you joining us out there. As we check out the forecast for your Thursday, it looks like more of the same for us, especially with the sunshine. It is a little bit warmer this morning, which is good or bad, depending on what you prefer in these early morning hours. 59 degrees, clear skies. Winds are calm. Notice the dew point's at 57. We were seeing some reports of some patchy fog, so be aware of that. Our temperatures are cooling off closer to those dew points and under these clear skies. That could be potentially an issue for some people, but not really seeing that locally, at least not yet. Now, temperatures right now, right where we should be for this time of year, mid to upper 50s. Our normal low here in Columbia is 55. We're seeing that more towards the cooler areas right now, but generally a cooler start for the day today. A warmer start for us compared to yesterday, which was a cooler start than normal, about 5 degrees above where we were at this time just 24 hours ago. Saw a low of 52 eventually early yesterday morning. Satellite and radar nice and quiet for us, nothing to worry about in the way of rainfall today. We'll stick with the sunshine, stick with the dry conditions, and the forecast as we move throughout your day. 58 this morning, 77 by lunchtime. Our normal high this time of year is 78. I think we do continue that warm up into this afternoon with a high of 84. So a little bit above normal. Saw a high of 82 yesterday. We'll continue that warm and sunny trend. I'll go through the end of the work week, but I could see some rain chances come our way on Saturday. But for now, a lot of sunshine to help us soak up all that rain that we saw over the weekend.
That's right. Thank you, Jonathan. Well, this morning the sun may be getting ready to shine, but the threat from this weekend's downpours are far from over.
That's right. At the Columbia Canal this morning, it is a race against time to keep the city supplied with water. Our Jennifer Reddy is there live with the very latest. Good morning, Jennifer.
Oh, geez, everybody's up.
Well, it looks like we're having a bit of a technical difficulty out there with Jennifer, but we will get right back to her. She's been monitoring the situation at the Columbia Canal, and right now, in her last report, Jennifer said that they've had a few setbacks. The part of one of the areas of the dam was washed away yesterday, and there was some concern that it was reaching the power lines. So crews are out there right now assessing that, and they've been working hard for days.
Yeah, they have been all out there around the clock, pretty much, she said, since Monday.
That's right.
When they realized that they were going to have to move into action and start making repairs to this portion of the dam.
And here's what they're doing. We've had military helicopters picking up and dropping off 750 one-ton sandbags into the canal in hopes of repairing that breach. Officials there say it is a team effort in a time of crisis.
Oh, it's pretty amazing. It's an incredible effort between the City of Columbia, private contractors, the National Guard, it's in the Public Works Department. So it's an incredible collaborative effort trying to get the water system back up.
Of course, they say it's a temporary fix. They're working on a permanent solution. Workers had to stop earlier yesterday after portions of the canal collapsed. Jennifer mentioned that in her earlier report. Right now, this morning, though, people are being asked to conserve their water in the City of Columbia to reduce the strain on the system. And speaking of the water, we still have many boil of water advisories in effect, but a few have been lifted for certain areas.
That's right. A few of those include Ballantyne, Dutch Fork, Chapin. Those areas that we just mentioned are no longer under a boil water advisory. All other City of Columbia customers, however, should still boil their water. We also want to mention that the City of KC is not under a city-wide boil water advisory. Only the homes and businesses around the Three Fountains area, that's Old Barnwell Road and the CAE Industrial Park. So all of those areas, they still need to adhere to those water boil advisories. And we're going to go back out live to Jennifer, who, as we mentioned earlier, has been out there at the Columbia Canal monitoring conditions. Jennifer, what can you tell us this morning?
Christy and Rochelle, it does appear that crews are out here working again this morning at the Columbia Canal after a little bit of a setback yesterday. Now, yesterday afternoon, a smaller portion of that original breach did collapse, and it caused some of the utility poles to shift a little bit right. Now, this morning, we are hearing the dumping of rocks, which could mean potentially that they are continuing to build that temporary dam across that will cut off the flow of water so that they can work on that breach that has been closed since, or that has been breached since Monday afternoon. Officials have been out here since Tuesday working tirelessly on this, but Mayor Benjamin says that they are doing everything that they can to make sure that the water supply does not get cut off here in the city, including one of those plans is the National Guard pumping water from Broad River. Now, in addition, officials are asking people to conserve water where they can, and also a reminder that that boil water advisory is still in place except for the area of Chapin, but everywhere else in the city of Columbia, they are still reminding people to continue boiling their water. From Columbia Canal, Jennifer Reddy, ABC Columbia News.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer, keeping us up to date there on the very latest.
That's right. And things continue to change by the minute. And there are still places that you can go to get water if you are under the water boil advisory. The Old Belk parking lot at the Dutch Square Mall, Midland Shopping Center, which is just off of Two Notch, as well as the former Sam's parking lot on Sunset Drive and the Walmart on Forest Drive. Now, most places will start handing out that water about 8:30 this morning, and it will last until 6:30 this evening. And residents who live near the Beaver Dam in Columbia are breathing a sigh of relief this morning. Officials are reassuring the community that their dam in that area is now stable. Crews used over 400 one-ton sandbags to reinforce the dam. Residents in communities downstream were asked to evacuate yesterday as crews worked to fill a sinkhole and prevent the dam from breaching. It's holding more than 91 million gallons of water. Richland County officials approved an emergency ordinance to spend up to $1.5 million for emergency recovery efforts. And the city of Forest Acres is updating the community on their conditions there as well.
Officials say despite some confusion, the 911 system is up and running. They also want to remind residents that many roads in the Forest Acres area are still closed and barricades still in place. They want you to adhere to those barricades. They actually had to ticket one man who tried to cross over a barricade.
People really need to be aware that things aren't normal right now, and just pay a little attention to what they're doing. And please watch out for the police, the fire, whoever's on the road working. They're not there trying to hassle people. They just want to make sure you're safe.
And sadly, another devastating reminder that you need to heed these warnings from law enforcement not to cross these roads and these barricades that are set up. This morning, we know the names of two victims inside a truck that was swept away early yesterday morning off Congaree Road. Robert Vance and Ricky McDonald, police say, were in the truck when the driver went around a barricade on a closed road. That truck dropped into the water at a 20-foot gap in the roadway near Eastover. 3 people in the truck were able to get out safely. The flooding and aftermath have now claimed at least 17 lives here in South Carolina, and that is a tragic and a devastating loss.
It is. It
and
is.
Right now, we do want to remind you this morning that a curfew is still in effect in Richland County until 6 a.m.
That's right. In addition to city offices, those will remain closed through tomorrow. Garbage collection, which a lot of people are trying to figure out exactly when that will happen, they'll resume today, but they will not collect any recycling bins. Rather, they'll be focusing on trash and storm debris. And some of you may have lost your roll cart during the storm because of that flood. The city has now provided a number to call for a replacement. That number is 545-3800. And some students are making their way back to the classroom as well.
Lexington School District 4, Newberry County Schools, and Saluda County Schools are all operating today, but on a 2-hour delay. Lexington, Richland District 5, Lexington District 1 are closed today. Richland Districts 1 and 2, Kershaw County, Lexington District 2, and USC classes all canceled for the rest of the week. So we've got some areas of the Midlands that are slowly but surely returning to normal, trying to get back into daily business, and we've still got some areas here that
have a long way to go.
We've got a long way to go. Yeah. We've got more coverage this morning. The Gamecocks find a home away from home.
That's right. What you need to know for this weekend's big matchup.
And right now, upper 50s with clear skies. Expect more sunshine and warmth today as well, as highs will be back in the mid-80s for us. We'll have more details next. Stay with us. We're live from Main and Gervais. Good morning, Columbia. Waking up on this Thursday morning, we're back in the upper 50s, a little bit warmer than yesterday, but not by a whole lot. It's still going to feel a little cool out there this morning with the clear skies. Sunshine throughout the day, that's going to warm us up. It is not going to be cool this afternoon. A high of 84 today, so a lot of warmth outside and a lot of sunshine, and that's exactly what we need after kind of the cooler, dreary conditions of all the rain we were seeing over the last 2 weeks or so. So a welcome sight to see the sunshine. Probably a little warmer than you would expect for kind of early to mid-October, but we'll take it with the sunshine either way.
Yeah, and I know, we're trying to recover. Everybody's in recovery mode, assessment mode, and things are devastating. But, people are looking forward to the football game this weekend.
Of course.
And, they've made some arrangements here due to the flooding. Yesterday, they announced that Gamecock football will make Baton Rouge its home away from home this Saturday.
That's right. The University of South Carolina announced its decision to move this week's game with LSU away from Williams-Brice Stadium to Baton Rouge. The game kicks off at 3:30. There was a lot of discussion on when we were going to see the game, but it's going to be 3:30 at LSU. Tim Hill spoke with the Gamecocks athletic director Ray Tanner about the announcement.
Ultimately, it was about our friends and family and the victims of the flooding and the casualties. So that was paramount.
And in a show of support, the LSU band has announced that they are learning the USC fight song and the alma mater because the USC band would not be able to make the trip. So I guess whenever South Carolina scores touchdowns, which we hope there's a lot of,
we hope so.
The LSU band will actually be playing the fight song.
Yeah, it's a really great gesture, and I think those folks especially know what we're going through because this is the same group of folks that went through Katrina and experienced, they know firsthand what flooding is like.
Yes.
And it's great to see the support.
And they were saying that was the last SEC game to have to be moved was LSU when Katrina hit.
Yeah. Well, still to come, a community coming together. Find out how you can help those in need in light of this historic flooding. Well, welcome back to Good Morning Columbia. Harvest Hope Food Bank is having an emergency drive-through this morning to help out Midlands residents.
They are at each location. There will be 2 lines, one for food and then another for water. That will be at their Shop Road location from 9 until 3. And then their Lexington location, the same event, from 10 until 3 or until supplies last. Now, Harvest Hope is also reaching out for donations. Some of their items they really are in need of are hand wipes, Pop-Tart containers, canned soups, and jelly. So looking for a lot of non-perishable items over there.
Of course.
And there are other ways that you can help the community and a lot of the flood victims. City Councilman Cameron Runyon is working with multiple organizations to help provide hot meals for those in need. This relief will provide up to 4,000 hot meals a day. Now, distributions will be made at the Word of God Church and Ministries on Garners Ferry Road today, and that will last until Sunday. Lunch can be picked up at 11 this morning and dinner at 4. To order, you can call 695-2363. And Richland School District 1 and 2 are offering free lunches for children at select schools.
Yeah, that's right. It will take place today and tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. at both districts, Richland 1 and 2. Richland 2 will also provide lunches from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can find a list of those schools that are taking part on our website. Just log on to abccolumbia.com, and again, that's today and tomorrow for Richland 1 and 2. And school may be out for many students, but it doesn't mean they're not doing their part to help out. Ridgeview High School is holding a flood relief drive today for affected families living in Richland School District 2. They are collecting supplies like blankets, soaps, cleaning products, toilet paper, and other items for the flood victims. And this is going to go on from 9 this morning until noon in the Ridgeview High School bus parking lot. A lot of folks banding together.
Yeah, banding together.
So great to see.
And you know what?
Our community.
It's there are things that they're asking for that you really take for granted.
Yeah.
You know, the toiletries that people need, baby diapers,
absolutely,
baby wipes. I mean, things that you just don't think of on a regular basis until you're in that situation.
No, and it doesn't start there. In Lexington, Richland School District 5, they've established a way for residents to contribute to flood victims online. The fund is to serve students and families who were impacted by the devastating floods here. Contributions can be made online at district5foundation.org. All you have to do is click the Give icon and make the donation in honor of flood victims. You can also donate water and food at the Richland Fire Department on Hardin Street, the City of Columbia Fire Department there. For financial donations to first responders, you need to be directed to the American Red Cross and specify who your donation is for. To donate goods and services to flood relief, call 1-888-585-9643. And we've got those numbers there up on the screen for you. 1-888-585-9643.
And for more ways to help the flooding victims, abccolumbia.com can connect you to relief organizations. You can just look for the story on our homepage, and there's a new number this morning if you want to help flood victims in Richland County. That number is 929-6000.
And still to come, we've got so much more here on Good Morning Columbia, our continued coverage, plus a look at your forecast and a live report from the Columbia Canal coming up live from Maine and Gervais.
More sunshine for your Thursday forecast. We're going to round out the week with more warmth and more sun for both today and tomorrow. Highs around 84. Sunny to mostly sunny skies today and tomorrow. Do have a chance of rain for us on Saturday. Cold front's going to swing through much of the East Coast, and that does bring us a chance of rain. Thankfully, though, as that rain falls, we're expecting rather modest totals, only around a tenth, maybe up to a quarter inch in most areas. And certainly do not need any additional rainfall, but if we do get some, hopefully it'll be on the lower end as expected to be that way. After that, back to the sunshine for the end of the weekend and next week. Temperatures a little bit cooler for Sunday, only around 72, but back in the low 80s for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, I know it's a welcome sight, that sunshine, for all the folks that are out trying to assess the damage, trying to get their furniture out in their yards to dry out. We've heard lots of demolition folks say get everything out the house.
That's right. Start sanitizing and then begin the demolition process.
That's right.
Long process ahead.
Yeah, well, we've got more to come here on the second hour of Good Morning Columbia. We're going to head back out live to our Jennifer Reddy with an update on the Columbia Canal.
That's right, and we're going to find out the progress that's being made and if there's anything to watch out for.